Academy? You would weed them in, or?
Well, I had Ohio, and it was very interesting. Next to flying, it was my preferred duty. I've been a little bit everything. I had 30 years of service, and
It's impressive, sir.
first one thing another. But when kids want to go, I want to fly. I want to fly. I want to go to the Air Force Academy. I say, how are your grades? Oh, I get C's and D's. There's no point you wasting my time, me wasting your time. But when they tell me to get A's and B's, I'm happy to talk with them. I have one family. I'd lost track of him some 15 or so years ago now. But up in Cleveland, I was considered a black Greek god. I say it that way. This family, the youngster, I worked with him while he was in high school. He wanted to go to the academy. I went to his home several times, met his family. It was a matriarchal.
So you were like a recruiter also?
High-class
Okay,
recruiting.
Okay.
Schools, when they had career nights, things like, they put me at a table. One school here in Titusville had me next to a Marine, male and female, were next to me, and they arrived before I did. And when I walked in with my attaché case and in uniform, the little female said, "That's not fair," talking to the male. And she said, "The Air Force has a lieutenant colonel doing his recruiting, and they only sent us, I think they were sergeants." I said, "I'm not a recruiter." I said, "I'm an admissions counselor." But go back to this family. The youngster went to the academy. He got in. He stayed in. While he was in, I heard from him 2 or 3 times. And his family called me, all upset. The grandmother, the matriarchal family I had mentioned, the grandmother had passed. And they called the academy first. Academy said he couldn't come home for the funeral. They talked to the congressman. He had a congressional appointment. The congressman couldn't do anything. They called all the sources they could think of, trying to yank some strings to get him home for the funeral. And nobody could get him home. So she called me. I said, "Well, if the academy said no, and everybody you've tried has told you no, I don't know how, I can't override anything that anybody else has said. Well, would you please try?" I said, "I'll give him a call." I called my counterpart out at the academy, talked with him. I don't know what he did or who he talked with, but the youngster got home. Oh boy, that would shut me up.
You were #1 in their book.
Black Greek god.
Neat story. I'm sure you've got 1,000 stories like that. So you spent 6 years as an advisor, career.
From 66 until 72.
Wow.
I had quite a
Impressive.
few that made it. I had some that, there's a
Washed
prep
out.
school that each of the academies has a preparatory school. I had some that couldn't make the academy right off. They had to go to prep school first. I had some that made it from prep, and I had some that couldn't even hack it at the prep school.
Did you get an opportunity to meet a couple wing commanders ago, General Ed Wilson?
I've been retired.
I know, but Patrick Air Force Base.
Oh, I've met quite a